स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Now, anime शुरू करें.
Thank you, Maharaj, for your time. You cannot believe that it's the 7th one that we are doing consecutively. So the first question is from Bhromo Rai. She actually joined from India last time. She sent me a question. So her question is, Thakur offered everything at the feet of Mother Kali except Satya, truth. Why?
Actually, when we call it Satya, the truth, it is not that truth which we usually think in our day-to-day life. Sometimes this is a truth and this is not truth, untruth, or false. So I have visited, that is truth. I have not visited, that's untruth. So that is not the Satya. Satya means eternal. Here the Satya means eternal, which never changes, which is a, we can say, the name of the Brahman. So if we give that, if Thakur gives that, then what remains? Nothing. That's why he said, I could not give the Satya. The Satya here means, we can say in simple word, God, and Satya means unchanging, eternal entity. That is the reason Thakur didn't offer it to, because that is himself. God is himself. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. So the next question is from Sujata. For meditation, we see pictures of yogis and sannyasis in different postures and mudras. And sometimes, due to age or other conditions, we are uncomfortable in sitting with folded legs or in certain posture. In that case, can one meditate in the posture he or she is comfortable with, or are there certain rules one has to follow for meditations?
So when we sit for meditation, they are called Ashtanga Yoga. Ashtanga. Ashtanga means 8 forms, different forms. Asana is the first one. Asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, and before that, yama and niyama. The yama and niyama, these are the 2 practices, whether to purify the mind and the body, yama and niyama. Then comes asana. Why they developed this posture, sitting posture? Because suppose we sit in the chair, we won't be able to meditate in the way when we sit on the floor. But if you have some problem, physical problem, and you cannot sit on a squatting, as Indians and the Chinese, Japanese, we are habituated to sit on the floor. But the Europeans, because of the weather, it is cool weather, very cold, they cannot sit on the floor. So usually they made on little higher, that is called chair and cushions and all that. So if it is not possible to fold the legs and sit, no problem. You try in your own way, but try to sit in a straight posture. That is very important. When you are sitting in a very straight way, a back should be straight, your neck should be straight, and the cheeks and the 2 shoulders should be straight. Then only it becomes easy to control the mind. So that's why asana is very important. But asana you can do sitting on the chair also. Ultimately, in the meditation, you are supposed to forget the body. Unless you forget the body, how can you enter into the soul? As we cannot sleep unless we forget the body on the bed. If we are remembering our body, oh, our knee is paining and the back is paining, that means I am not sleeping. When I forget the body, I don't feel any pain in such a way. So obviously, that is the best condition. And meditation also the same. Then we go with the help of the mind to an imaginative condition where we see our God is sitting inside the heart and we worship God over there mentally. Manasa Puja. And after that, and slowly but steadily, when we are taking the name of God, we merge with the God. These three processes, as we go in the sleep, same thing knowingly. In the sleep, unknowingly we go to that stage, and in meditation, knowingly we go to that stage. And when you go to that stage of consciousness, we are aware. In meditation, we are aware that I am in meditating in that conscious state. So this is possible if you practice sitting on the chair or wherever you are comfortable. Of course, the sitting is important, but at the same time, remember it is mind that should forget body, mind, and the environment. Then only you are in meditation. Thank you.
There's one more follow-up question. What is the significance of those different mudras, like how you put your hands, or is it kind of energy or something?
The mudra in the Tantra, they call it mudras in different way. It is an expression. And they will be like they are in Tantra, they purify the whole body. And when they are purifying, they will be purifying the nose, they will be the ear, and the lip, eye, head, the back, and then the knee, and feet, hands, and also the fingers. They will be doing like that. These are all called mudras. Mudra means we can symbol. When I am purifying this finger, how? Because I am going to use this finger for worship. So I am purifying it. When I am purifying, I am uttering a mantra, and that mantra is related to that. But sometimes some people say this is as because we are holding like this, pressurizing, and that pressure is good for health. I don't know. But that only simply, these are the. So I sometimes teach my students that you should put your all the fingers together on your head. It has nothing to do with the fingers of the head. As because you are trying to bring the mind on the head, and if you are giving a little pressure on the head, your mind comes over here. Otherwise, just imagining your mind on the top of the head or center of the head, it may make mistake. So you are just putting all the fingers, then you are bringing the in between the two eyebrow and on the throat, on the heart, because with that you are bringing the mind over there. That is called mudra. So the practice of mudra is that much. That is the main way. Mudra you have seen in the dances. When they do the dancing, they also show the mudra. And those mudras are expression of different things. When they will be showing like this, that means the lotus they are showing. So they'll be showing like this, that means the wavy water. So like that, this is called mudra that symbolizes some idea.
Thank you, Maharaj. The next question is, in the present time, Vedic gods or deities such as Indra, Varuna, Agni are not as commonly worshipped by Hindus as other deities, which are not even mentioned in Rig Vedas. So does it mean that the manifestation of Hindu god or deities have evolved in name and form as we perceived God during the course of our spiritual journey?
This is a very good question, I should say. The gods are evolving. So obviously, Hindu gods and goddesses, as the time passes by that way, they will be doing it. At the time of the Veda, the Agni, Varuna, etc., that Why? Because from the nature they were learning. God means very powerful. God has tremendous power. When they found that the fire is burning down all the big trees, they thought the fire has tremendous power, so it must be the God. And when they found that the tempest, the powerful wind, uprooting the big trees, that means the air has so much power. So they considered that, and they imagined the Agni, Vayu, etc., etc. As because the Indra, and that was in those days, and nowadays also, in some places, this right suddenly from nowhere, the thunder will come and killing the people and burning the trees like that. So they were very much afraid of that. We can imagine most the jungle, the areas. So obviously they were afraid, and that was the most powerful thing. And they thought this must be the king of all gods, the Indra with the Vajra. So that imagination. In Upanishad itself, there is a discussion. They're asking how many gods are there. They said three. That means Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar, and then 11. Then say millions. So like that, that means whatever imagination that you can have a God. So that is the main idea. Now, present day, as the slowly modern ages are coming, and the people, they are developing the instruments to control the nature, because everything is in the nature. In those days, some people, through the power of mind, they used to control the nature, they used to harness the power of the nature, and they used to transport themselves, they used to hear the words from distance. Now it is not necessary, because over telephone you can hear from the 1,000 miles away, the 12,000 miles away from they are calling, and you can listen. So those are not necessary nowadays. So if you notice in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is completely pure religion he is teaching us. But in Sri Ramachandra, he was teaching us only moralities and social values. In the life of Sri Krishna, there were lot of super power that he has shown. That he was covering the sun, he was just to make people believe that even in the form of human being there may be gods. But when Sri Ramakrishna, he advented, it was a modern time in 19th century, it was not necessary, because already many advancement has already come. I was noticing here in our next village, we are in the Homer Glen, and this Lemont, that village was built in 1836 when Sri Ramakrishna was born in Kamarpur. And this here in America, they have made a huge water tank at that time in 1836. Can you imagine? So obviously, they were advanced in all this, and we were little backward because of the Britishers and the rulers and all that. So things are changing, gods are changing, but the conception of God, that He is eternal, all pervading, all powerful, all merciful, that is not changing. The different type of gods and deities may change in the time. In the South Indian people, their concept of gods, and North Indian people, their concept of gods, I mean, images are different. The South Indian people are thinking the gods is like this, and North Indian people's gods, same God in a different form. It doesn't matter at all, because we are imagining. Now, there is a beautiful sloka in Sanskrit. It says, Bhaktanam anukampartham brahmana rupa kalpana. The last two words, brahmana rupa, the form of the Brahman, kalpana, imagination. Now, whatever the way you imagine. Now, when an Indian, he is making a Buddha statue, his Buddha is having big eyes, his face and his body are different. But a Japanese will make a Buddha completely in his own way. And similarly, other people are doing the same. So these, it may change. But the Buddhahood, the knowledge that enlightened the heart of that Gautama, that will remain. So this is Vedic gods and goddesses are changing. The modern gods and goddesses are coming. But the conception of God is eternal. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. So the next question is, as you know, there are three different schools of Vedanta, Dvaita, Advaita, and Visishta Advaita. So the question is, will the practice of Vedanta, example, Dvaita, Advaita, and Visishta Advaita, vary depending on the place, time, and the beliefs of the individual? In the present time, will the practice of Vedanta be different in different parts of the world? Example, America versus India. For example, the places where the Semitic religions are prevalent, is the Advaita Vedanta more appropriate than other two schools, Dvaita and Visishta Advaita?
No, not in that way. So, another Semitic religion, they are Dvaiti. So all of them, they believe in God. They believe that only God is existing. So obviously, it is indifferent. But in other way, if we see Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, it depends on the person who is practicing. Some people who are, they feel that there is God, and I like to cook for God, I like to decorate God, I like to worship God, I like to wave light before God. For them, Dvaita, because this is temperament. I have seen mostly here in America, the Americans, they love dualistic way. Though we tell them the Advaita, but they love dualistic form. Why? Because this is something very new and they can do by themselves. They're cooking for God and cleaning for God and worshipping God and garlanding. So some activities are there connected with God. That is something very special. But temperament of people somewhere, they want to know about God, and that is, their understanding should be clear. So their Advaita is really applicable. Now, why Swami Vivekananda applied Advaita Vedanta here, and in India, he asked to worship and Ramakrishna mission? Because of the social condition. Here in America, if you notice, most of them, they depend on themselves. They never depend on others. That is the first basic thing of Advaita. We don't, in India, we are always depending. So we like to blame others, we like to depend on others. So this weakness is there. And it is better for them to go for Dvaitism. God is there. We are blaming God, or praising God, depending on God, praying to God. But the Americans, if you see, particularly, I don't know Europe, but in America, they are mostly, though they are dualist, they go to church, they believe in God in heaven, but still, in their daily livelihood, they're very independent. So obviously, Advaita is suit for them. They are not blaming anyone. I practice, I get the blessings. I don't practice, I don't get the blessings. That's all. I'm not going to blame anyone. So this is very clear. First, Advaita is a mentality which one completely free person can practice. But in India, you will find, as because we were subjugated for long 700 to 900 years almost, so it has become a habit to depend on someone. Somebody should dictate, and then we do. So kingship, the king conception, is embedded. Even in the democracy, we always think that the person that we have elected to look after our problems, we always go to him with folded hands. The moment he is elected, his behavior also changes. He won't talk to people, then you have to, etc., etc. Almost like a king he will behave, though he is actually representative of the local people. And we also don't mind because, oh, they are elected people. Obviously, they will have all facilities. Why this? So that is why the dualistic conception is more prevailing in India and Asian countries than in America. In America, it is not like this. That is why Swami Vivekananda, only they are weak in their philosophy when they are taught that you are a born sinner and you are going to hell unless you come to this particular philosophy and practice and believe and faith. Swami Vivekananda said, it is a sin to call a man sinner. That boosted us. That's true. We do mistakes. It doesn't mean that we are sinners. So that way, this Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta, very applicable. Now, the Indian diaspora, they're also liking Advaita conception here. Why? These Indians, those who have come from India, but they are the best of Indian minds. Most of them are doctors and engineers or the professors and researchers. So their thought level, it goes with the Advaita. But even you will find the Indians are very fond of Dvaita. They will make the temple, they will spend a lot of money for the temple. They like to construct temple where they stay. This is the reason. So Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishtadvaita, this philosophy, practically it goes along with the mental condition of that particular person. One brother may like Dvaita, another brother may like Advaita. When Swami Vivekananda and Swami Brahmananda, they went to Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna noticed that Swami Brahmananda, then Raja, he used to, Rakhal Maharaj, he used to go secretly to Kali Mandir. And Narendranath, he will never go to Kali Mandir. And not only that, once he found that Rakhal, he is making pranam to Ma Kali, and he said, hey, what is it? Why you should bow down your head before an image, a stone image? Sri Ramakrishna intervened and said, if he likes to do it, allow him to do. If you don't like, don't do. Why you are interfering unnecessarily in his emotion, in his devotion? So that is the answer to this question. It depends on individual mind and aptitude. Now, when we are practicing something, and there must be a goal. What is the goal? Either duality or non-duality, whatever, qualified monism, there must be a goal. What is the goal? Well, God realization. Now, I think if I follow, study mathematics, that is very good to me. I can understand that, I enjoy, and I will graduate with that subject and I will become a professor. Another person is thinking, if I study a language, because I love that language or history or some other subject, he will also graduate from the same school and he will also join as a teacher in somewhere. That is the main goal. Both are going in the same way and reaching to their goal. Here, the spiritual practice, Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita, and Advaita, what is the goal? To get the peace. That is the ultimate happiness. But if you think by following the Advaita, you are truly developing love and unselfishness, and you are feeling joy within, that is your path. Otherwise, if you don't feel that way, that is not your path. Unnecessarily, we should not try that. So all these three philosophies are valid path to lead you to God. And God is love and unselfishness. God is the source of happiness. So, by following any one, if I reach over there, that is my path. Or you can combine, as the Ramakrishna mission has combined, Advaita, Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita, all combined together. We are reaching over there. So this is the main.
Thank you. It's excellent. So the next question is, in Mahabharata, we see that in the war of Kurukshetra, Pitamaha Bhishma joined Kaurava despite knowing that they are on the wrong side. We know Vishwa is known as the embodiment of truth and righteousness, which he exemplified throughout his whole life, but has to take the wrong side when the time came. Why is it so?
That is, see, keeping the word, the vows that I have taken is really the religion. That is good. But when you have taken the oath or the vow, but you find that because of that, majority of the people are suffering, then you should change it. But Bhishma didn't do that. So that is the teaching that we learn from the life of the great personality, Devabrata Bhishma, that he took the oath that I am not going to marry and I am not going to be the king of this country, and I will protect this particular country and the family. Now, knowing well that family members, particularly next generation, they are not doing the righteous thing, still he was supporting them. And he never deviated from his oath. So that particular oath bound him, and he was killed. When Arjuna saw him and he was confused, shall we? The same things Arjuna thought. He's a righteous man. He is our grandfather. How can I shoot arrow at him? Then the Krishna said, no, he is no more alive. He is more dead because he is supporting the wrong thing. Unless we are with the righteousness means dharma. And dharma means is all divine thing. And what is the divinity? That those who are having the ego and their desire to grab power to torture people, they are all devilish. So whether he is my brother or father or grandfather, I am not with him. So that is the teaching. So he told Arjuna, they are more dead than alive. So you need not to bother about it. You should, and Bhishma will die. Bhishma's mistake was that he took the promise, he took the oath, but when he saw that things are changing, the people he is going to protect are not at all righteous, rather, they are devilish. So he should have broken that vow and said, no more, I won't protect you. I am always with the God and divine. He didn't do that, knowing fully well he was supporting, thinking, once I have given the word, I must stick to that. That is not dharma. That's why in one place it says in the Mahabharata that dharma, gahana dharma no gati. It is very difficult to understand when actually our behavior is righteous. Now, Yudhishthira, he took the oath, he promised that he is not going to tell lies ever in his life. Now, a situation came when that Acharya Drona, he was killing hundreds of his own people, those who were fighting in favor of the Pandavas. The God himself, the Krishna himself told, if you tell a lie, you can save all these lives. To save the life of people, by telling a lie, it's not a lie, it's not a sin. Go and do that. But Yudhishthira in the beginning, he refused. Then when everyone was persisting, that is the only way we can stop this old man, and it is impossible. He was the teacher. So naturally, he knows a lot many things more than us. He taught us how to fight. And he knows much better than us, so we won't be able to stop him. But this is the only weakness that we have to apply on. And Lord Krishna said that. Yudhishthira doubted. And then, of course, he went and he said that your son has been killed because of the same name. His son and elephant was there. So they killed the elephant and said, Ashwathama Hata. And naturally, that he meant, because Yudhishthira never told lies, he believed Yudhishthira and he stopped fighting, etc. Now, why Yudhishthira hesitated? He was thinking that I should not tell the lies. It is not a lie, it is the truth. When you are saving the thousands of people's life by telling an untruth, that untruth becomes truth. So, Gahana Dharmano Gati is very difficult to understand which at the exact time what is Dharma. And that is the reason that when they are asking, what should we do? They say the answer is that Mahayana Gata Pantha. At that time, you should follow the great soul. Whatever they have done, you should follow that. Keeping the promise is the dharma, righteousness. But that promise is creating problem for others. As because I am supporting some wrong people, I should break that promise. And I said, no more. If he had said that in the beginning itself, when they were insulting the Draupadi, then he could actually stop the war, but he didn't do that. He could say that I am no more with you, because you were doing all this wrong thing. He was going on supporting, thinking I should not break my promise. That was wrong. Yudhishthira also, he was also doubtful, shall I tell this or not? That's why he had to go and see the Naraka. Now, Arjuna didn't do. Arjuna was asked to fight and he fought and he killed so many people, and that was his dharma. So he went straight to the heaven. But Yudhishthira had to go via hell. So dharma is really a good question, very good question. And thank you. Thank you for all these questions.
If you have 5 more minutes, there is another question Bismita just sent after I sent you the questions.
Yes.
So there are times when subconsciously we get attracted by greeds and strong forces. What is the best way to hold on to the ideal and not second at all?
Repeat it again. Repeat it.
There are times when subconsciously we get attracted by greeds and other strong forces.
Greed.
What is the best way to hold on to the ideal and not second at all?
Now see that sometimes that is the challenges. The more you are advancing towards the spiritual life, the more this type of the temptation will come in front of you. And there are two things, as Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna suggested. If you loudly take the name of God and say, please protect me, then the temptation that was there in your mind will go away. And as because you are submitting yourself at the mercy of the God's grace will also protect you. And these are so subtle but so certain. It is going to happen for sure. So when there is this type of temptation, you know that I may take this offer this moment, but I may and am surely going to suffer in future. It is better I should not take it. I will tell you in the incident that happened in my life. I think you have heard it. When I took charge in the Andaman, I actually started that center. We were very poor, and we were having 50 orphan children to feed, not having any money. And in Andaman, majority of the people are very rich. Lakopati, I used to call them. So these people, they never saw the beggars, they never saw the monks, and they never could think that somebody is asking money to do something. So that was when I used to go door to door to request for the donation. They used to wonder, why you need this? You can work, and if you want, we can give you some job. I don't know, not for me, but these are. So why you are helping these orphan boys? Well, they are by birth they are like that. Let them suffer. I told that is okay, but the thing they won't die. They will grow, and they'll go with a vengeance. They will grow. Then they will come down on your children, because that time you'll be old and gone. They will come on your children, and they will never make your children's life happy. So if you help them to grow properly through me, then it will be actually you are helping your children. So by that way, I used to tell them, so they used to give some donation. So that was the condition. Suddenly, one car came with 3 bags full of money. Big, the trunk as they call it, the huge trunk, full of money. And they told Swamiji, keep this money under your bed, and we will take it after 5, 6 days. I told, but why? Under my bed? No, that officer, he quoted the name. From Delhi, the officers has come, there will be a raid, they will search his office, search his house, and if they find this money, they will be arrested. So he has sent this money to give it to you. Keep it. Everything is over. They won't find it. They will never come to you to search. And obviously, after this, when everything will be over, 1 bag full of money will be given to you. And he said, you need not to go for begging donation. Sufficient money will be there. Now, this is a great temptation, because that time our building was collapsing, and pipeline water was not properly working. The road was muddy and slushy. So we needed money a lot, and particularly for food also. But immediately, by the grace of Mother and Thakur, I told, you must pick it up now itself, or otherwise I will throw it in the ocean. The ocean was in trouble. You must take it back. Then I took by that way. But then I found there was another temple was there nearby. He suddenly started painting, and he understood the 1 bag he has got. Anyway, but I was happy with the poverty, and I was happy that I never supported that wrong way. So that means you have to be alert, and you have to pray. And when you pray, God will help. Moreover, this world is temporary. If we are having a lot of money, and what is going to happen? Suddenly we will die, and somebody else will enjoy my money, which I earn by committing sin. I am carrying all my sin on me and going to hell to suffer. And the money and the wealth that I earn by sinful way is enjoyed by somebody else. He may be my son or grandson or whatever. Why should I do for that? I should not. So that was the teaching Narada gave to that famous dacoit. Do you remember the dacoit? He became a great sage afterwards. Ratnakar, correct. Ratnakar. Thank you. This is a wonderful discussion.
With the Shanti mantra.
Let us do the Shanti mantra. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.